Hello, Hair Tools users. I'm going to show you a quick tutorial on how to get super fast hair. Basically, it's going to be a grid, a really easy grid for those of you who have a hard time making the grids. I always use curves from Grid Surface. I think it's the fastest and the easiest to make hair cards, and this is for more lower poly hair cards, like for video games. So I'm just going to kind of show you that. It's been a while since I've done a video, so bear with me here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to load up my character. They have a scalp, so if you use one, you can, have that on there if you want to. It's not necessary if you don't have one, but just load up your character. And then you're going to want to go ahead and add, let me turn on my screencast keys if that helps any. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Shift A and open up Mesh. I'm going to use the UV sphere, and go ahead and make this about the size of the head. And pull it back a little bit, go into edit mode, X-ray, face, delete vertices, get out X-ray mode, edge select mode, oops. And then you're going to select, oh my gosh, I keep clicking off of it. Select edge loops, extrude on the Z-axis, about the length of the hair that you want. Go ahead and move it back to where the head is. Go into, what is this, viewport shading. That's this shading, I don't even know what, the grid shading method. It's the first one on the list up here. And then go into edit mode, and you're going to select vertices, and you're going to kind of just drag these around to kind of match up. Oops, you're going to make sure you do proportional editing. And kind of just, oh, I forgot one thing actually before I do that. Go and make sure you select that vertice and delete it. And then you're going to do edge select mode again. Select edge loops. And then make this a little bit smaller. Scale it. I want to make a nice part. Oops. Okay, that's fine for now. And then while you're in there, you might as well just do edge, mark sharp. And then go back in here. Oh. Edit mode. And then you can move these around to kind of match up the head. I might speed this part up. All you're really doing is just matching this up with the head. Make sure you flip it to do the same thing on this side. It's about right. You can, do that however you want so that it's pretty, matches up to the head pretty well. Next thing we do is we're going to go into edit mode again, go into edge select. Now this is where we're going to, now you don't have to follow this way that I'm doing it, but this is going to be the quickest way, and you can always go back through and make it so it's not so symmetrical, is we're going to basically just mirror half of it to match the other half so that you can do it a lot quicker without having to kind of worry about both sides. And at the end, like I said, you can always go back through and move stuff around so it's not, exactly the same. And I also want different parts of the head. So I want like the back, the side, and then the bangs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into edge select mode and I'm going to get let's start with the bangs because I want to kind of make that separate. So we're going to go, the bangs will kind of be right here and here. So I'm going to click on those two edges and go to select edge loops. And I'm going to right click and go to edge split. Okay, so that's split. Now I want the back of the head. I'm going to have the back of the head start right here. So I want that to be, so these right here, and then you're going to go to select edge loops, and then that's going to be the back, and then you're going to go edge split, and then the bangs will, I'm just going to have the bangs be long to start with, and I can always shorten them up later. Select edge loops, edge split, and then since we're going to be doing the symmetrical, you can actually cut it right down the middle here as well. So edge loops, and then you're going to go edge split, and right here, right there, edge split. And now you're going to go into face mode and you're going to select, because I'm going to keep this side. I'm going to highlight that and then hit P on my keyboard and do selection. And then I'm going to go back in edit mode and do the same thing over here. Select all this, click on P. That's going to be its own selection. And I'm going to do the same thing with the bangs right here. I'm going to hit P, selection. And then the rest can get deleted. So all this over here can just be deleted completely. So now we have the back, the side, and then the front bangs. And then we won't actually mirror it until we have all the grids going and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and save it. Now, since we already marked the edges as sharp, we can create our curves. So now I'm going to click on the back first, and I'm going to go curves from grid surface. And I am sharing some textures that I'm using, a diffuse and alpha texture. Okay, if you're using the textures that I provided, I'm going to show you how to get that set up in HairTools, since the shader is set up a little bit differently with the embedded textures in alpha. What you're going to do is you're going to go into one of your curves and you're going to go into the shading tab and you're going to find the hair perimeters here and you're going to go ahead and hit tab on it. Once you click on it, hit tab, it's going to bring you here. You can move the embedded color ramp up here, just kind of move it out of the way. You're going to bring in two just texture, image texture. You're going to add two image textures like that. I already have them in there though. And then one is going to be your alpha and one is going to be your diffuse. So I put my alpha on the bottom and I connect the color to the alpha spot. So we got color over to alpha, and then make sure that this UV is connected to the vector down here. And then the top one is going to be your diffuse. So make sure you have your color connected to your albedo, if that's how it's pronounced. And you're going to have the UV also connected to this vector. So what that's going to do is now this isn't going to be used anymore, so you can just ignore that. So now we're going to have our diffuse and we're going to have our alpha, and that is how you can use your own custom diffuse and alpha maps versus using the ones built into HairTools. And keep in mind though that this affects every material that you use. So if there's a case where you want a different part of the hair to have a completely different diffuse and alpha, it's not going to work. Once you change this, it changes everything. I don't know if there's a way around it. HairTools creator can definitely let us know if there is a way around it. So yeah, that is how you can set up your custom diffuse and alpha map, or the ones that I provided to you. Thank you. That you guys can use to go along with this tutorial, since the textures that come along with HairTools are a little bit different, so it will have different effects because my opacity is a little bit more opaque for the first layer so that it covers everything. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and generate ribbons. And I'm going to set my strand count to 5. And, well, maybe let's do less than that. Well, actually, let's go ahead and go into shade mode so we can see what it looks like. As you can see, it's really opaque. So let's go back in here Go into generate curves. Okay, so we can make this a little bit, and it really just depends on how, thick you want your curves and how many you want. It's really kind of up to you. I'm going to stick with 5, and I'm going to actually go to 0.50 just because it's okay to have a little bit overlap. And then I'm going to do the same thing. So if you want to use my settings here, actually for offset to root, I'm going to do 0.30 because I like to have the offset more towards the root so that the subdivisions are higher at the root to give it more smoothness at the root there. So I have my strand count to 5 points per strand. I actually can increase. I'm going to increase that to 8. Offset to root 30%. And then actually I don't want randomized spacing on, and I don't want randomized length, and I don't want contrast. I want to change that to 0, and that's about what I like. I'm actually going to save this preset because I like it. That's its own preset now, and I can use that on the other ones, so that's good. Now I'm going to go ahead and save it just because it's always good to save all the time. Go over here, curves from grid surface. I'm going to go ahead and pick my good one. That's perfect. Go ahead and hit my bangs. Now, obviously, this is going to be different because it's smaller, so I'm going to change the amount of curves that I have here to maybe just 3. And it depends on how thick you want your bangs as well. So I'm actually going to do 4. Yeah, that's good right there. So I have the back, the side, and the bangs, and that looks really good. So now I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. One thing I'm going to do, though, first, I'm going to go ahead and go into Adjust Curve Profile. Now, depending on how high poly you want your hair, you can change this around. If you do 2 and 2, that actually works really well. And I'm going to do that because I can maybe have extra layers. Your protrusion, you can change that if you want to. I'm going to leave it the way it is. It's just on default settings. And I'm going to go ahead and keep that, and then click on this one, Adjust Curve Profile, change that one as well. And then I'm going to change this one, Adjust Curve Profile. All right, perfect. So that's that. Go ahead and hide the grids I was using so they're not in the way. I won't need them anymore. I mean, already that's looking really good, and I haven't really done anything. So now we're going to go ahead and mirror everything. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to delete the modifier that's on my character because I don't need it. I'm going to go ahead and mirror that one. Go ahead and mirror this one. And I'm going to go ahead and mirror the bangs. Bam. Obviously the roots aren't perfect, which we're going to fix, but so far for just getting this done really, really fast and without really making any adjustments, it actually looks pretty good. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to click on the side one, and we're going to go into edit mode, and we're going first. I'm going to select my roots. I like to subdivide the roots a little bit more. I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to click on segment subdivide. I'm going to go edit roots, subdivide that one again. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on roots one more time, and I'm going to try something here. You can kind of play around and see what works best, but I'm going to move these inward so that the roots match up to the part. Right about, oh, there's Blender just crashed. That's why it's always good to save your work all the time, because it will just randomly crash on you. So I had to kind of redo a whole bunch of stuff here, but that's fine. I got back here, so now I'm going to start where before it froze. I'm going to line this up to about here because that matches up to the roots, and then you can always kind of, edit or tweak a few things if you want to. Since it's mirrored, it's pretty nice. That looks good for now, and I'm going to save it again. Go to the bangs, go into edit mode, and select the roots. I'm not sure if I really need to move. Oh, yeah, I guess I can move the bangs a little bit. Maybe like right here. I'm going to go into connected only. Kind of move. I don't know where I want the bangs to be. I guess that's probably good. And then actually what I want to do is I'm going to select the roots again. Kind of want to bring these down a little bit. What I like to do as well sometimes is I like to open up another window so that I can kind of see what I'm doing, which I'll kind of show you, and it works really well. Okay, so I'll have another window open so that I can kind of watch what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to drop these roots down just a bit. Ooh, No, no, no. I guess maybe not. Maybe if I turn on, oh, no, it's on, oh, well, shoot. Trying to think here. That's fine for now. Okay, let's go into the side, select roots. I'm gonna drop down the roots just a little. That's fine for now. Now we're gonna go ahead and do the back. Select roots. I use a G on my keyboard to kind of just move stuff around here. And like, you can obviously do whatever you want. I'm just trying to get everything to match up here. There's a little spot right there that I don't like. There we go, that works. There, I think that looks pretty good. Look at that. We barely even did much. We just kind of adjusted the roots a little bit. And we got our first layer that kind of covers everything up. You could make these a little thicker because it looks like there's some gaps in between. So if you really wanted to, you can thicken them up a bit. Actually, why don't we just go ahead and do that? So I'm just going to go adjust curve profile. Oh, I need to change that back to number 2. I didn't do that after it crashed. Now we can change the width. Let's go 0.60. There we go. That looks better. We're going to do the same thing over here. Adjust curve profile. Change this to 2. 0.60. There. It's a little bit thicker and it kind of covers up a little bit more. And my dog's whining because he wants me to hold him, but he runs away when I pick him up. All right, so that's a good start. The bangs are a little long, but I'm gonna keep that there the way it is for now and maybe make adjustments later. I want the hair a little bit longer. So I'm gonna go ahead and click. I wonder if I can click on all of these at the same time. I don't think that's gonna work though. Oh, maybe it does. Okay, so then select tips. Oh, okay, so you're gonna actually have to select all the tips. And then E for extrude, and then Z to make it go straight down, and then we can move it around later. So there is a new feature in Hair Tools, which I honestly don't really use very much. I mean, it's awesome and it works really well, but for some reason I'm just so used to using the old way that I haven't really been using it. It's the hair modeling. So if you click on hair modeling, it will create little dots, oops, wrong button, where you can kind of select. And you're in object mode and you don't see all the lines and the curves. So now if I hit G on my keyboard, I can move the hair out really simple. Or if I want to do like just certain pieces, I can, move it away like that, which is really awesome. I mean, it's perfect. Do that over here. I just got so used to using the other way around, or the other way. And I can't, and unfortunately, since I can't see through the character, I can't actually find my dot to use. So I'm just going to go into edit mode just because this is quick. And it's really actually not that bad because I'm mirroring it. So there's no annoying lines on the other side anyway. So using it this way is really not that big of a deal. I'm going to go ahead and go like this. Move these back. Like that. All right, that's that. So that's my layer 1. So I'm going to go ahead and rename. I like to keep things organized too. So I'm actually going to select, I'm going to save it again. I'm going to select all that. I'm going to right click. Oh, right click and go into move to collection, new collection. I'm going to call this hair curves. There, so now I have my own little spot for all my hair curves, and I'm going to rename these back L1, side L1, front L1. And I could probably get rid of, oh no, this one. Okay, so that's layer one. Now the rest is very, very simple. It's very quick after this. Once you get your layer one all perfect in the way you like it, all you need to do is, let's click on the back one first, and we're going to duplicate it by hitting Shift D on our keyboard, and then just press the left mouse button to put it into place. And now we're going to uninstance this profile because we want to make sure that it doesn't affect the one underneath it. Uninstance. We're also going to want to go into our materials, and since we're going to do different layers, it's not going to be the same material. So you're going to want to go click on the mirror and delete it. Click on the main one, and you're going to click on the new material. So it's going to rename it. So now it's its own material. So now when we change the UV, which I'll do now, draw UV for hair. So we want to do the second one. And you don't have to, you can do whatever you want. If you only want a couple layers, you can skip over, each one and do a couple different ones. But I'm just going to do this one and then hit enter, go back into your layout. And now I'm going to move this hair above layer one. Edit mode. I like to select the tips. Let's actually save it again. Hit G on your keyboard and kind of just use your proportional editing to move everything away from layer one. And a really easy way to do this as well is to go into your solid mode, because it's a different color, because I changed it to random. I don't even know how I did that actually. Oh, right, random. So then every layer is a different color, so you can see where it's overlapping. And then you can, oh, oops, I pressed the wrong button. So then you can hit G and then move it so that it's not overlapping. Like so. There, so it's not overlapping the different color. There. So that's going to be layer two. And if I go into this mode, you'll be able to look and see that it's a little bit, less, it's a little bit more transparent for the layer two, and we're giving it some volume. And you can obviously move it around more if you want to. You can give it more volume by, stretching it out a whole bunch. Oh, wait, let's go into not connected only mode. I didn't even realize I was in that mode. Okay, so you can like give her a whole bunch of volume in the back if you really want to. Do whatever you want, move it out more. It's really up to you. It's kind of, right now it's fun. You get to play around with all your different hair strands and move them around. Move it out a little bit, maybe like this. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. First, let's save it. So now we're going to go ahead and duplicate this one on instance, change the material, go into UV editing mode, select the second one, hit enter, go into layout mode, go into edit mode. I usually do front view, and then we're going to move all of our curves out after we can check in this mode here because it's going to be a different color. Ooh, wrong one. Oh no, what did I do? Okay, no, tips. It's already looking really good. Same thing with the bangs after you save it. Duplicate, uninstance, remove that material, make that a new material, go back into UV editing. It's basically just a repetitive, you just keep kind of doing the same thing over and over again after you make your first layer. It's pretty simple. Layout, side view, edit mode, select tips, hit G on your keyboard, and kind of just move these out just a little bit. Oops. So I got my bangs in there. And now we have layer one and layer two. And it's looking pretty good. So I think I think I'm gonna do a couple more layers, but I'm gonna have them be flyaways. So I'm going to first I'm gonna rename my other layers here in layer. Back two, front two, side two. And I'm gonna save it. All right. So now I'm gonna do layer three. Now since you've seen the process and it's pretty fast and simple, so I'm going to speed through the next layer just because I mean it's pretty much exactly the same as what I just did. It's just I'm going to choose a different UV. So I'm going to speed through this for you. Okay, so now I have three layers. I got my, yeah, I got three layers, and it's looking pretty good. You could save it and just go with this if you really wanted to. But I want to add another layer, which I'm going to do, and I'm going to speed through it again. So all right, so now I got four layers, and it's looking pretty good. I could definitely quit now, and I'd be done. I really don't even have to make too many adjustments. I mean, it already looks really good without really going in and messing around with it. But I mean, it's kind of boring. The bangs are just blah, and they're just straight, and they're not really, there's nothing fun about it. Let's turn this into a mesh so I can show you how easy that is now. So let's select all of our curves that we want to be a mesh, and now you're going to hit Shift Control H, and then you're going to go to Finalize Hair. Obviously it looks funky right now, but it's compiling the shaders. So until that hits 100%, it's going to kind of look all funky. So now it looks normal, and we're going to hit OK. Bam. And now we can go ahead and hide the curves. And now we have one mesh with one material. But that's quick. That is a very fast way to make hair. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and see you guys later. Bye.